Hey folks, this is Steve with Synthrotek, and we're really excited to announce that we now have the Voice of Saturn sequencer into a 5U panel mount format, which can fit either into this handy case that we sell with its own 9-volt adapter jack here in the back and its own on-off switch, or you can buy it in just the panel form here, either completed or in a kit. And if you already have your own 5U rack and power supply and stuff, this will fit nicely right in there. It's got power, 4 different types of power capabilities built into it. It has 9-volt battery, 9-volt adapter. It's got MOTM, synthesizers.com, and ModCan power connectors all on the back here. So pretty much almost any 5U system or even a standalone device, you can use this in almost anything. So I want to go over the features. It's pretty simple, pretty basic, but really powerful. 10 steps, which will allow you to do some interesting rhythms. It also can be reset to be 8 steps if you want a little more traditional type of rhythms. Each step allows from 0 to about 7.5-ish volts out, so you got a real good range there, about 7.5 octaves coming out if you're doing the 1 volt per octave thing. All the features you can see here, let me unplug some of these patch cables. You've got rate knob over here, clock in, clock out, reset in, which allows you to plug this into the triggers, so when the gate goes high on this, it'll reset at that particular step. So if we plug the reset jack into number 9 here on the trigger out, it's going to reset at 8. So allows you to kind of set anything up you want there, and I'll go through that and show you how that works here with the patch cable. There's gate out, which is still pretty poppy. It's about 6 volts, 7 volts. CV out, like I said, 0 to 7.5. There's a hard hold button, so you can hold that step and dial in your voltage, which will allow it to be whatever pitch you're wanting to do and tune it. There is also an internal or external clock switch here, which will allow you to either use the internal clock, or if you've got an external clock coming in, you can switch between those. There's a rate knob here, which allows pretty slow clock movements to pretty darn fast, almost faster than you want to have there. Also, each step has its own gate on and off switch, which again can kind of lend itself to different triggering or gate options that will allow for more unique and desired beats. So let's mess around with it for a second. I've got it connected here to my Yamaha CS5, which is a basic mono synth, and it is not modular, but of course you'll get the idea of how this is going to work if you have your own modular setup. We're going to plug the control voltage input from the control voltage output here and hear what it sounds like without a gate input. So let me just turn up the initial level here and my volume. So when I just have the CV out going into my CS5 here, all I'm going to be able to hear is I'm going to hear each step regardless if I have the on or off of these gate switches happening. Now if I want it to only play when it hits a particular step or not play when it hits a step, I'm going to have to use the gate output. So let me patch that in here real quick and grab the gate output here and see how that's going to be. So you can hear it's also going to be using the internal envelope of the CS5 for me to set the sustain decay, or however I really want it to be, or if I want a really slow attack or whatever the case is. I can adjust that to suit. And then also that allows me to turn off steps if I want to, so I want a little more syncopated type of a sound. It's not going to play when it gets to the steps that I've turned off because the trigger will not be activating the synthesizer here. So let's turn this up. So you can see that you can have different, as you're popping around here, you can move things around just to get a little different feel. And that can be done on the fly just to kind of give some unique rhythms. Or you can have them all on and do it that way. Now, of course, I mentioned that we have that reset here, and that reset does allow us to be able to stop the sequence at any point that we really want to. Or you can use these triggers out to do other things in your modular setup too, because each step, whenever it goes to, it's going to kick out some voltage for you. So let's plug the reset into, let's just say, trigger 5. So now we're only going to be going up to 4, adjusting the filter a little bit here. So let's go up to 9 if you want to have 8 steps. Oh, let me hit that again, sorry. My cord wasn't quite plugged in there, so. So, you know, 8 steps is a little more traditional in the sense that you want some 4/4 time or what have you there. So, of course, this can be adjusted on the fly. And, of course, like I said before, these triggers themselves can trigger many other things in your rig. So, like I said, we've got a gate out. We've got various options of how that works. So, I mean, that's basically the features. Of course, the fun is in being able to use this in a variety of capabilities. Let's put the hold switch on, and I'm going to show you. Now, when we put the hold switch on, the gate still operates. If you don't want to have that happen, it's going to go in time with the clock. It's going to keep happening. We can turn up, just kind of be able to tune that in, keep the trigger out of my sequencer, or excuse me, my synthesizer. So when we stop the sequencer from moving, the gate still triggers. That allows us to be able to do other things even when we're still stopping the sequence. But if we don't want that to actually change or to be on beat with our synthesizer here, we're going to need to unplug the gate output, and now we can kind of tune that into what we want. And if you have an external quantizer, of course, you make that fit a particular note that you really want to hit or whatnot. Let's just mess around with this for a second. Let me plug the trigger back into, or excuse me, let me plug the gate out back into my synthesizer, and now you can hear the gate still happening. Let's unhold it. So that's kind of what you get with this thing here. Like I said, a pretty basic sequencer, yet really powerful. You can trigger other events in your modular system. You can use it with any kind of analog keyboard that's going to take control voltage and triggers and whatnot like that. And it allows you to be able to get kind of semi-modular a little bit with this if you want to use it as its own little external device here. Or, of course, if you've got a 5U setup, it's going to fit in perfectly to your rig. Very cost-effective, complete. They're at about $3.99. Kits are even cheaper, and this is probably the cheapest sequencer for 5U that you're going to be able to get out there. So we've got a limited amount of these, so hop on them when you can. It's going to be me here at Synthrotek, and also SynthCube, who's going to be retailing these, and that's it. So get them while you can. They're going to be a hot item, and if we sell out, we'll hopefully get more, but it might be a little bit of time. So strike while the iron's hot. Thanks so much for checking it out.